still can't explain the main attraction, satisfaction for your listening or your leisure. Try to troll the coach and you'll end up in a seizure. Pertain upon your brain, you just can't take the brain back. That this is the LDBC, you don't tell us how to act. And if you hate the content, then take a step back. Why you watching the videos? How you gonna explain that? How you gonna explain that? How you gonna explain that? Coach Shelton Harrison, there never be no comparison. You're live on the show, sit back and have a listen. And that's just the way that is. All right. LDBC, this is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, guys, you know what? This is an imaginary fight. You know, and it looks like Valentina actually wants this fight. Why Valentina? Why? I mean, there's really no need in fighting Paige VanZant because it's not even worth the effort that you wouldn't have to put out fighting her. That's just how it is. But I'm going to go ahead and do a power chart breakdown because you never know in the future. If they fight, then my analysis will already be here, okay? Let's go ahead and get into this, okay? All right, so striking, I give that edge definitely to Valentina Shevchenko. You know, she definitely is a world-class striker. You know, in all her bouts, you know, her opponents, they definitely don't want any, they don't want any smoke with Valentina striking. They just don't want it. Paige, she's a decent striker. She's not like the best striker in the world, but she's decent. And, you know, if she can catch you with a kick, you know, Paige's most dangerous weapons are a kick. So if she can catch you with one of those, that can make the fight a bit interesting. Takedowns. You know, I've seen Valentina take down a few people. Not much. Not in the fights that I've observed. I hadn't seen Valentina use her takedowns because she's never really needed to. Because a lot of her fights, they're always standing because, you know, I don't know. People, when they fight Valentina, they just don't know. Like, they just don't know what to do. They just don't know what to expect. And the takedowns that I saw her secure, she took Amanda Nunes down a few times. You know, she rolled with Juliana Pena, and she submitted Juliana Pena. Valentina, you know, from what I've observed, her takedowns are pretty good. You know, they're very good. And, you know, if she did more of them, she'd probably be a 5, okay? That's because I'm not in training camp and all of the above. Paige VanZant, takedowns, they're okay. You know what? They're a bit sloppy. It's almost the result of her, like, falling into a position, if I can describe it. It's not, like, pretty. You know, when she take you down, it's not very pretty at all. Paige is, well, I'll talk about that later. Takedown defense. Valentina, she's decent at takedown defenses. I've seen her taken down. I saw Juliana Pena take her down, and I saw Amanda Nunes once in the fight. Their first fight, I saw Amanda take her down. And that's because Amanda was like, nope, I'm not standing. Yeah, Valentina is expecting a takedown, then she can defend it well. If she's in striking mode, you know, sometimes Valentina will miss those takedowns and not defend. Paige VanZant, her takedown defenses are not very good. You can take Paige down pretty much when you want to. You can take her down. Now, you know, that don't mean that, you know, okay, Paige is, you know, beatable every time people fight her. No, that's not it. Because Beck Rollins thought that Paige was going to be a pushover. And Paige did a super kick and kicked Beck Rollins' head off her head. So, no, not saying that. But Paige, you know, doesn't do as good a job as I'd like to see of her defending the takedowns. Okay, Octagon Generalship. I have to give that category to Valentina. Valentina is a good Octagon General, and she's most effective in the center of the Octagon. You know, I've seen Valentina do other stuff like cutting off the Octagon. You know, I've seen her closing distance. You know, Valentina is very good at closing distance. A lot of times she don't have to cut off the Octagon because most of the time her opponents are coming to her. So, and that's just the way that is. Stamina. Both of these two young ladies, they have a very good cardio system, man. It's like Paige and Valentina, they could probably fight 10 rounds in the Octagon and still not be winded. Defense. Valentina Shevchenko, her defense is impeccable. It's very good. She's been hit a few times, but, you know, Valentina, for the most part, you know, what I've noticed about Valentina, she don't take a lot of punishment, you know. The worst punishment that I've ever seen Valentina take was from Amanda Nunes. And that's when Nunes was elbowing Valentina when she had Valentina on the ground. That's the most punishment that I've seen Valentina take. But in most of our other fights, Valentina takes little to no damage. I mean, little to no. Paige, on the other hand, she takes a lot of damage. Paige VanZant takes a lot of damage. I'm talking about it's there. And Paige can be hit. Her defense to me is not solid. You know, Paige, she moves around and it's really robotic, like, you know. She moves very, very robotic. And when she tries to slip punches, she don't really get a chance to slip out of the way of the punches. She end up getting hit. So Paige is very hittable. Power. I give that edge to Valentina in that department too. Valentina is slightly more powerful than Paige. I just don't see the knockouts in MMA when it comes to Valentina. You know, I don't see the knockouts. And, you know, that would have me question maybe the power. Now, you know, she's got enough power to keep these opponents off of her, like she do. They're not walking through Valentina, but Valentina isn't necessarily knocking them out either. So that's why I gave her a 3 in power. Paige VanZant, yeah, her power, you know, you could argue with me and say she's probably a 3. Because Paige, her punches are not really that great. Her elbows are decent. Her kicks. Paige VanZant has really some good kicks. And when those kicks land, they do a lot of damage. So I would probably go off and maybe change Paige VanZant to a 3. Okay, speed. Definitely an edge in Valentina. Valentina has the speed advantage. Paige is very slow and robotic, as I indicated before. She's very, very slow. And Paige, you know, she doesn't set up right away. You know, it's like she'll robotically move to a position, then she'll robotically move out of a position. She'll robotically do a lot of things. And it's like Paige, to me, sometimes she looks very, very uncomfortable, you know? I mean, she just does. And it's almost like she's trying to fight to get to positions, you know? Valentina is very fluid. She moves, you know? She moves very well in the octagon. She's very, very fast. She can get in and she can get out. She can get in your chest. She can back out of your chest. I mean, that's just the way that is. The ground game. Valentina don't get on the ground enough for me. I know that she's trained MMA and she's trained her BJJ. You know, she's trained her wrestling. She's done all these things, and I know that she's proficient at it. I've not seen it enough in fights, you know. When she's on her back, Valentina is actually good at scrambling and getting back to her feet. She's very good at that. So I gave Valentina the edge on the ground. All the times I've seen Paige VanZant on the ground, I mean, Paige is really getting beat down, okay? Whenever I've seen Paige on the ground, most of the time she getting beat up, okay? That's just how it is. Submissions. They both have a pretty good submission game. I would probably edge it over to Paige on the submissions because Paige in professional fights, she's had more submissions than Valentina in MMA and since she's been in the UFC. You know, that's just my opinion. So Paige, I could argue and say maybe Paige would probably be slightly higher than Valentina. And it's just because Valentina don't necessarily go out and look for a submission. You know, she don't do it. Unless it presents itself, then Valentina will try to submit you like she did Juliana Pena. Mental stability. Valentina is cold as ice. She's very cold. When she gets hit, she don't panic. You know, she gets hit, she don't panic. She'll just take the blow, she'll reset, and then she'll try to figure out exactly what she needs to do next. Paige VanZant, although Paige does have a great chin, Paige VanZant has a chin. She's not going to be knocked out. But Paige, I noticed when she takes a hard shot, Paige will panic and she'll go into like just a mode where she'll freak out. Not necessarily like freak out like, oh, I got hit. But you can tell, and Paige will back off, or Paige don't know how to reset and refocus, you know. I've seen that in Paige. Now, Paige and Valentina, they both have a chin. Valentina took some of Amanda Nunes's best right hands, and these right hands from Amanda Nunes will level or drop anybody, okay, folks? That's just the way that is. Paige VanZant, she's got a chin. She's been kicked. I mean, she's been elbowed to death. She's been head kicked to death, and Paige VanZant still not going to sleep, so she's got a chin. Both of these two, they have an overwhelming amount of heart. Paige VanZant has a lot of heart. Paige is going to fight to the end, okay? You know, I'm not a huge fan, but at least, you know, Paige, she's gonna fight hard, okay? She is going to give her best effort that's within her skill set capabilities. Valentina, she's going to fight to the end. You have to literally kill Valentina for her to stop. Like when she had that dislocated finger, look, she had Pavel pop it back in and she went back to go fight. And that's just how it is, you know. That's how Valentina rolls. So, you know, of course, my decision, the person who would win this fight, the overall scores, definitely kind of tell who I think will win the fight. And I think Valentina Shevchenko defeats Paige VanZant. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done. What are you guys waiting on? Subscribe to the best women's MMA platform on YouTube.